and welcome to Valley Homes on TV. I'm Todd Flesner, here along with Debbie and Giordano.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing great, Debbie. Great to see you.
Great to see you, too.
We're glad folks have tuned in to our show today.
They can watch us on Channel 26.
That's correct.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. And I think they spot us in some other times, too.
They can catch our best stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, we're glad you've joined us today, where we get a chance to introduce you to folks and places around Milpitas. And we've got a special guest today. And Debbie, would you care to introduce our guest today?
I'd love to. Renee's been a friend of mine and a colleague. We've worked together for many, many years. Mm-hmm. She's here from the city of Milpitas. It's Renee Lorentzen.
Great. Renee, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, maybe just start and give us a bit about your background, your history, where you grew up. You work here for the city. Mm-hmm. Did you grow up here in town?
I did. Actually, born here in Milpitas, went through the public school system in high school, and took part in the recreation programs and the facilities that are still here today. And coming full circle, I'm now the interim recreation manager for the city of Milpitas.
That's exciting.
So yeah, now I get to oversee the sites and the programs that I once played in and was able to take a part in. So
you were locally educated, went to Milpitas schools, and then how about college? Or?
Went to Cal State Hayward.
Okay.
And majored in human development because I love working with people.
Perfect.
Yeah, terrific. Yeah. So now you're managing and running our Parks and Recreation
The
Department.
recreation, yes. Yeah.
All right, terrific. So let's do separate departments.
They are separate now, actually. Parks is with our Public Works, and Recreation is on our own.
Well, tell us a bit more about what that recreation hat then. What is it that you deal with in terms of the Recreation Department?
So Recreation, I guess the simplest way to put it is that Recreation has 3 centers: our Community, Sports, and Senior Center. And we serve the public, Milpitas residents and non-residents that come in because they love our programs, deal from pre-K up to seniors. I think one of our members right now is 92. So we have something for everybody.
Terrific.
You've been with the city how many years?
Gosh, I started at 15 out in the camps.
Oh, wow.
And
I think you had one of my kids, too.
I did. Yeah. I actually registered them for swim teams. So started there and working with the kids and playing, and then this was a great college job and became permanent my senior in college. So I've worked at all 3 sites in varying capacities and just happy to lead the team now.
Terrific, terrific. So, you get a chance really then, you've experienced a lot of it firsthand, and you get a chance to get to know and work with a lot of folks around town.
Yes, a lot.
Tell us a little bit about, what are some of the things that you enjoy most about working in recreation?
I love people. I think they're interesting. I think they're fun. I like the feeling when they get the class that they want, or they've got a problem and we can help solve it, with just excellent customer service. I love people. I love that feeling. And I love being knowledgeable about the city that I grew up in and that I work for. There's just that institutional history that I think is priceless. So
okay, well, the folks out there are kind of interested in what programs, services. Let's kind of make a run through of what is all entailed.
So I think we'll start with our younger groups. Okay. We've got pre-K, so our little toddlers and their parents can come out and do music and movement and work with balls and music and things like that, and get their spirits and their bodies moving. Mm-hmm. We also offer after school programs. So when your kids get out of school, they're safe. They play, they do homework, they're with us. After the Bell program, and we're at about half of the sites right now at Milpitas Unified Schools.
That's a real need that's being filled.
It's great, yeah. We have programs for the teens, driver's ed, art, history, SAT prep. It runs the gamut. And then for our adults, we do the Sports Center really kicks in. So we have a big fitness program, yoga, weight training, aqua aerobics, lap swimming, keep them fit, and then keep their minds fit with Ikebana and, some driver's training as well if they need it again in later years. And just enrichment classes for adults. And for our seniors, we have an entire center. We offer a nutrition program for lunch. There's ping pong, pool table.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo. Yes. Bingo. Trips out to, Fisherman's Wharf and Treasure Island. And also just a place to be. So they leave their houses, they have somewhere to go, they're with their peers, they have a great time, and they get to go home at the end of the day. So that's a long example.
Good. What about sports leagues? Is recreation involved with sports leagues as well?
The sports leagues, we support them by organizing which fields they get to play on. There's a lot of great kids in many sport leagues, soccer, football, baseball. So we help them with getting them all organized and make sure that they have fields to play on.
All right. So what do you find, skip around a little bit.
Yeah.
Todd already put in the positive. What do you find as some challenges that you have?
Changing demographic, very different. We see just kind of a lot of my staff have been there a long time. We've seen some ebbs and flows, and I think what's coming in now are the younger adults who haven't had kids yet. How do we serve them? How do we outreach to them? And the other one is more transit residencies and condensed housings. How do we get them to us or get to them and help them build a community in their condominium or their apartment housing? It's not just a single homes like that. So, but we try new things. Some of them are great, some of them don't work, and we go back to the drawing board and see how we can better serve the community.
Good. Well, you talked about classes and programs and those sort of things. Is there a place that folks might be able to find that information easily? You have like a website, or is there a brochure that comes out? I mean, how do if folks want to find out about those sort of things, what's the best place to do that?
There's two great places. Number one is the City of Milpitas' website. It's a great resource for every department.
We'll be able to put that up.
Yeah. City of Milpitas, on the homepage, there's a recreation tab. You click on it, it'll take you to everything that we offer, all of our sites, all the amenities, how to run a facility, how to register for a class. Online, too, is our catalog. It comes out 3 times a year. It lists all the classes, and you can enroll right there online. Okay. Or if you want to hold that book, they're available all the time at all of our 3 centers.
Okay, great.
Oh, terrific.
Let's talk about some of the events. The city recently went through a 60th anniversary event, and that was really exciting. Tell us about how you planned that and how that came together and what were the benefits for that for the community?
Wow, the 60th anniversary was huge. That was an undertaking. There were several components to it. Just for myself was getting a theme together, just getting the colors, getting the community excited, and then also the public art component. We put the Minuteman out in front of City Hall as part of the gala kickoff night. We really wanted to make it classy and special and something that our community would remember for a lifetime. And so we really felt like we hit the mark, and everyone that went to the gala night.
It was open to the public?
It was open to the public.
I thought that was nice.
It was no charge. It was free to the community. There was entertainment. I actually had a friend who also grew up in Milpitas who's been on Broadway. He came and sang for everybody. That was a nice treat. The local hero, boy done good.
And there was a video put together of some history of the city. That was how'd that happen?
Eller and Passian, who's with our information
I think
services.
I know that guy.
Yeah, I think he's on the other side of these cameras right now. Super talented. He went through and did several interviews with our community members, historical photos. He did so much research and put so much time into that, and it really gave a good timeline, a great snapshot of where Milpitas started and where we are now. And we carried that theme through the whole year. Really proud of it.
Now, there have been some new events as well, I understand, like the Veterans Car Show. Has Recreation Services been involved with that?
Recreation did help with the car show. That's the Veterans Commission's event.
Okay.
Last year was the first year. We pulled that off. It was a huge success. Over 100 cars we filled the first year. It was amazing. We saw a couple Indahar cars there as well. And they raised, about $4,000 in that one day, and they were able to donate a portion of that to the Fisher House. It was a great event, beautiful event, and it was special because it was an event that was made for adults, their cars, and kids kind of came along. But it was great. It was new, different. We loved it. We had it this year. Equally as successful, different cars, great crowd.
Well, let's see. You work with the Veterans Commission. Just on
don't.
that?
Yeah, just on this.
On
yeah.
that, and then you work with, what other, do you work Parks and Recs?
I've
Commission, or-
sat on Parks and Recs with them a little
Okay.
bit, but my main one is the Arts Commission.
Well,
Okay.
let's go talk about the
Yeah.
arts.
Yeah.
What's going on with the arts?
Well, we are working on some public art projects right now. We're going to put a new piece in front of the police station. In doing some research, we found out that our police station or our police department has one of the oldest canine programs on the West Coast. So we want to highlight that with a piece of art out in front of their building. We also have a great Phantom Art Gallery. Artists can come and hang their work and sell it and have a great exhibit.
Where is that located, if folks
There's
want to come see
two
it?
locations, actually. There's one at the community center and at the library. And the Arts Commission juries for both. It's very popular. There is a waiting list of about 2 years, but, come on in if you're interested and fill out an
And I
application.
know you featured some local artists, too.
Oh,
It's
yes.
really exciting.
A lot of
Well,
local art.
you talked about, you're looking at a process for putting a piece in front of, like, the police department.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process that the Arts Commission goes through in terms of selecting, pieces that might be public art? And are there opportunities for people in the public to have input into that?
Yeah, every commission meeting is open to the public.
Okay.
We encourage community participation and engagement. It's great when the community gets involved from the beginning to the end. So for the Arts Commission, once they identify an area in Milpitas that they think needs a piece of public art, we put a call out to artists. Tell us what you think you would do in this spot. We go out to that community or that neighborhood. What do you guys want? You want something that's colorful, interactive. We get ideas from the neighborhood and the community. When all that information goes out, we get some really cool feedback from artists that drop what they would put in the parks, what they would put on the fields or in front of buildings. And then after that, we pick our favorites, or they pick their favorites. I don't have anything to do with that. They pick their favorites, and then they build 3D models. Those goes out to the community. They're looked at, they're discussed, they're voted on by the community. And then we take that information to the city council and say, hey, what do you want us to put out there? And we've made some great placements over the last couple of years.
Well, Renee, you've made this is a job, but it's more than that. It's a lifestyle for you.
It
It's a
is.
life and a
Yeah.
career, long-term
Yeah.
career. What do you find are the real rewards?
The real rewards are just seeing what I've been able to do for the community when I drive around. I see a great building. I see a 20-foot Minuteman standing out in front of our city hall. Wow, I can point out to my kids, Mommy had something to do with that. And that's really, really rewarding. And then just seeing the smiles on the faces of the people that are around town.
Nice.
It's great.
Good. So, the business union is a relatively recent development for you.
Yes, I think September 1st I started.
Great. What sort of plans or ambition do you have career-wise then? You stay here in Milpitas your entire career? Or?
Yeah, we call them lifers, right? I never close a door or a window. I love this town. I would love to stay here and see where it goes for the next, 20 years and raise my family around here and just be a part of it all. I think that would be wonderful. I'd love that.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we are lucky to have you.
Thank you.
And we'll get you back next year and
Yes.
give the folks an update on Christmas tree lighting
yes.
is coming up.
Yes.
talk about that.
We're ending our 60th anniversary year here in January, but our last big event in that calendar year is our annual tree lighting. It's our 27th year doing it. So it's Monday, December 1st at 7 p.m. It's here in the Civic Center Plaza, right in the outdoor area between City Hall, Community Center, and Senior Center. We have a great play. Charlie Brown is seeking the meaning of the holiday, so you can see him try and figure that out. And then we have a special visitor coming to help light the tree. And there'll be cultural dancing, giveaways, refreshments. It'll be an awesome time. We want everyone to come out and celebrate with us.
Terrific. Well, we hope folks will come out and join that and join you and other folks in enjoying living here in Milpitas because we will get a lot to offer.
We do. We have a lot. We want them to play with us.
Thank you for coming,
Thank you for
visiting,
having
and
me.
sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
We're the rise to every challenge type. The nothing is impossible type. The type that knows the time will come when we put type 1 behind us. We're the plan for a cure type. The improved life along the way type. The type that will stop at nothing until type 1 becomes type none.
Can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me something. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov, a public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
All of us want to make a difference. As veterans, we committed to protect our country. We served and sacrificed for the things that mattered most. Those experiences shaped our lives, even if it isn't always obvious to those around us. And now that we've served, our commitments have taken on a new meaning. We're husbands, wives, parents, friends, and neighbors, but sometimes we still feel alone. We forget that our biggest challenge can be to ask for support when we need it. The Veterans Crisis Line is here for all veterans, service members, and their loved ones. Dial 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Chat online at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255. It matters.
Welcome back, everyone. Todd Flesner here with Debbie Giordano, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the real estate world here recently.
Yes, recently got some information from the National Association of Realtors. One of my colleagues had attended the national meeting and brought back some interesting stats, and I'll be happy to share that with you.
Oh, terrific.
Okay, although this is these are national numbers and local numbers do vary a little bit, but generally, 70% of those surveyed expect real estate business to increase next year. Builder confidence is up. Consumer confidence is up. Maybe you'll agree with some of these things. Mm-hmm. Pending and existing sales of homes are a little bit shorter than they were in 2013. I thought this was this is a national number. The Federal Reserve Bank estimates the national average net worth of a renter at $5,500. And the average net worth of a homeowner of $195,000. So home ownership pays off.
Certainly does.
Renters are facing higher rent prices. We've certainly seen that in the Valley here recently. First-time home buyers are beginning to shrink in terms of their numbers. 75% of the Gen Y population still believe home ownership is important. I thought that's cool. Gross domestic product will remain below 3%. Interest rates are predicted, and maybe you'll concur with this, to be about 4.5% by the end of 2015. Actually, that's a typo. It's 4.9%. Rents are rising by 3% per year. Household net worth is at an all-time high, and future population birth rates are falling. Legal immigration will create a boom, and the median price growth is at 4% annual. That's a national average. I think we're seeing a little bit higher that, and I'll talk about the growth in the numbers after you talk about interest rates. So
Right, so yeah, some interesting things there. Yeah, and I think that we are seeing some expansion in the economy at this point in time, and that, of course, then spills over into real estate. And a lot of times real estate is on the leading edge of some of those indicators of what people are experiencing in their pocketbook.
So where are we at today with interest rates?
Interest rates are still fantastic. We're in the low 4s. 4% for a 30-year fixed up to $417,000, and just slightly higher for the high balance conforming 625. You can actually get a jumbo loan today, 30-year jumbo loan up to $2 million at 4%.
Wow, and you about need the $2 million with the way the home prices are going, but
yeah. So one of the things,
nice.
one of the things I am starting to see is some loosening up in the jumbo financing arena. The underwriting is still looked at real closely, but we're starting to see some expansion in jumbo programs. And so, for instance, that $2 million loan, you can get into that with as little as 20%. That had been very restricted before, been restricted up to about $1 million with 20% down. Anything over that would take 25 or 30% down. So we're starting to see some loosening.
Why is that? What caused the loosening up?
Well, I think that what investors have seen and what banks have seen is the folks who have the capacity to have that sort of loan amount, the performance of those loans in their portfolio has been very good. And so they have that history, they're tracking that, and so they're able to expand those guidelines a little bit. For instance, we now have a loan 15% down, up to $1.5 million.
Nice.
And so that's an example of how that's starting to loosen up now.
Okay.
So that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. Anything in the horizon? Do you agree with the National Association of Realtors where the interest rates will rise a little bit more through next year?
Yeah, I think that we'll probably see a little bit of an increase here in interest rates. That wouldn't be too much of a surprise, but I think it's going to be moderate. I think our growth outlook, they talked about 3% GDP, which is moderate growth, which is going to keep maybe some moderate increase in interest rates. The Federal Reserve Board has ended what they refer to as a quantitative easing, or QE, program. And I've been watching interest rates real closely with that, and we haven't seen rates go up yet as a result. Okay. But they're also then now starting to signal that they're going to start to perhaps increase the prime rate, the short-term interest rate policy, and that may be coming up this spring.
Okay, and that should impact somewhat of the interest rates
then? It'll impact the overall interest rate environment. Again, that short-term interest rate policy that the Fed has is not directly related to interest rates for home loans. It will be more in the global sort of financial picture.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things that the tide starts to rise a little bit as those interest rates go up, but you won't see a direct correlation one-to-one.
All right. Well, we certainly have had some price increases year over year. Let me tell you what's going on in Milpitas, the local market. And if you had a home and you owned it in October of 2013, you've had quite a bit of appreciation. Single-family homes were at $731,000 last year at this time. Median price was $682,000. That has jumped now to $782,000 for an average price, and median price of $738,000.
Well, and that's reflected in those NAR net worth numbers that you talked about there.
Absolutely. And condos, it still continues to amaze me, even though we have so much overbuilding of. Renee even talked about the fact that the community has changed in terms of housing and where people are living in close quarters.
Right. Well, all the new development that's going on is, packed in closer to transit, right? Much higher density, right?
Right.
And so it's just a change in.
And these numbers, Todd, are resales, so they're older product. But last year, the condo average. The median price was $454,000. I'm sorry. Average and median were both the same, $454,000. That's jumped to average price of $517,000 for average, and median price is $540,000. Isn't that incredible?
Well, the percentage increase there in the condo market has been incredible.
Market is still good, interest rates are good, open houses are heavily trafficked. Offers are coming in, they're trickling in. There's not the huge demand of, the demand is there, but I think buyers are a little weary. They've searched all year, and I think they're going to come back out in a few more months.
Well, there's a seasonal impact to that somewhat as
so.
well. There tends to be that warm weather buying season, right? And as we enter more into the holidays, people's focus sometimes will shift.
But, days on market is still excellent, and the market is still just incredible right now. So.
Well, and I've always told folks that during the holidays is not a bad time to be looking for a home.
Not a bad time to be looking or selling a home.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
Well, we're glad folks have joined in. If they have questions about the show, or
they can email me at Giordano, GIORDANODJ @AOL.com. And Todd, where can you be reached?
T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com, and we'll get that up on the screen.
Well, listen, you have a nice Thanksgiving with your family.
Thank you.
And we'll tape one more show, and then we'll be off and running until 2015.
Great. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and happy holidays, everybody out there.
Thank you.